Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad, brought to you by OU Health. And now, here's your host, Abbi Bennett.
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm Abbi Bennett, and standing alongside me are analysts, my girls Shannon Ehrhardt and Kaleigh Tingelstad.
Yeah, tonight we have a great crowd that is bringing the energy. Who are from across seas, so thank you for joining us. Thank you for being
love
here.
The energy, you guys. Now looking ahead in tonight's show, our very own Mady Daddario had the chance to witness women's tennis huge win. Plus, analyst Ben Thomas got to chat with men's golf Patrick Welch.
And the final four stages set, Shannon and I will tell you who we think is taking home the natty.
And Kaleigh, Abbi, the OU spring football game is less than a month away. Kaleigh and I are going to tell you what to expect for this upcoming season. Okay.
Well, you guys, softball had an incredible weekend at Marita Hines Field where they kicked off conference play against the Baylor Bears, and they won not one, not two, but all 3 games. The 3-game homestand started off strong on Friday with our Sooners won 9-1 in 5 innings. Tiare Jennings struck a grand slam, and Jocelyn Allo and Lindsey Elam also added home runs for the Crimson and Cream. On Saturday, the Sooners secured the series in Game 2, sweeping the Bears 8-0. The defense stole the spotlight with impressive plays across the infield and outfield, and the offense also showed out with 3 runs in the 3rd and 4th inning, made by Jada Coleman, Tiare Jennings, and senior captain Lindsey Elam. But it gets better because on Sunday the Sooners closed out the series, taking home Game 3 3-1 in the 7th inning. Tiare Jennings blasted her 12th homer of the season on a 3-run shot to center field to walk off the Bears and keep OU's record absolutely perfect. And you guys, this softball team is just getting better and better, and they're just getting started. So they had a phenomenal weekend, but let's send it over to superstar Tiare Jennings and what she has to say about her championship mindset.
It was just a good team win. I think Hope carried us in the circle. She was just unreal. It was a good battle against Baylor. They brought it today. Their pitcher brought it. So just our team, we just continued to fight throughout each inning. So it was just really cool to see, and that walk-off was just nice, seeing them at home plate, bringing it home. So it was a good team win for sure.
Now returning back from spring break, there's been all of our Sooner sports in action, and we haven't had the chance to brag on all of them. So, Kaleigh and Shannon, I want to know, who is your Sooner team of the month?
Abbi, you hit it right on the head that there's been so many great Sooner sports. I'm sure you guys spent your spring break watching. One sport that you better have watched was OU softball. They have been locked in.
Yes, they have.
March. They have been locked in. They started out the month with a dub over Michigan. How could you forget that huge win over the former reigning national championships, Michigan? Now, they stayed tough physically and mentally throughout the entire month of March. Arizona State and Boise, they took care of business, no problem, and they'll see them again in the Norman Regional. Now, they capped the month off by winning the Big 12 championship and posting their highest score in history with ease. Now, that's their 9th title in 10 years. They also earned the honor of hosting the regional championships. Kaleigh, Reagan Smith, Audrey Davis, Jordan Bowers have been sticking their landings cold. This team is undeniably one of the best Sooner sports I've seen all month, if you guys can agree.
And exciting, they're going to end the month back here in Norman.
Can't wait to see it on Thursday.
I'm excited for that. Well, another amazing team with all of the spring sports going on is OU softball. I mean, this team just keeps getting better and better, even when you don't think it's possible. Just this month, the Sooners have beaten opponents 142-9. This past weekend, the Sooners claimed their first Big 12 series win with Baylor. And over the season, Oklahoma is outscoring opponents 279-25 and have hit 74 home runs. The pitching staff holds a combined ERA of 70% and 264 strikeouts. Sunday's game ended OU's streak of 12 consecutive wins by run rule, and it was just the 5th complete game OU has played this entire season. 5 Sooners have already scored at least 23 runs, and you can't forget about that Jocelyn Allo and how she broke that home run record this month.
Absolutely unreal, Kaleigh. They are rolling their competition. There's no doubt in my mind that OU softball is going to win the Natty. It's a prediction, knock on wood if I can find it, but they got it. They got it. OU softball.
And women's gym, come on. They're
And
both winning
women's
Natty.
gym.
Are you kidding me?
We got 2 going to be brought home.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Hands down.
don't go anywhere because when we come back, one of our analysts will break down women's tennis, huge wins. Plus, we will also be hearing from another one of our analysts who got to caught up with someone on OU men's golf.
That is brought to you by OU Health. The future of health is here. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Thanks to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health and Anheuser-Busch, and our community partners, Fowler Auto Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola.
Welcome back. Now this weekend, women's tennis had a huge matchup, and it just so happened to be against their Red River rival.
Yeah, and it was a nail biter, Abby. One that you definitely didn't want to miss, like all rivalries are, but the Sooners stood strong.
And Sooner Sports Pad Mady Daddario was there for the action.
Ranked Sooners started their weekend off Friday, taking down the Baylor Bears 6-1. Continuing their weekend into Sunday, they took on the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns for the second time. And let me tell you guys, this was a true rivalry matchup. With tensions high all day, it ultimately came down to true freshman Emma Staker to secure the dub for the Sooners.
It was really tough. I was just really felt like the moment was consuming me, and I was just telling myself in my head, like, own the moment. And I was just, like I said, like, saying that I'm more prepared than the other girl and just believing in that and keeping that up throughout the whole third set.
I think that we're very similar, so I always say, like, we want it in our hands, like, we want it to come down to us two. We want to play fearless, so I was just kind of like, okay, like, let's get, like, let Emma know it's me and her. We're in this battle. We're going to do it together.
Looking ahead into next week, the Sooners will be heading to Fort Worth and taking on the TCU Horned Frogs. Mady Daddario, Sooner Sports Pad.
Men's golf has had great success so far this season, and Patrick Welch has taken great part in it so far. Sooner Sports Pad's Ben Thomas had the chance to catch up with the Big 12 Player of the Month.
Hi everybody, Ben Thomas, and I am joined by a member from our #1 ranked OU men's golf team, Patrick Welch. Patrick, how are you today?
How are you today? I'm doing well. How are you? Doing pretty good.
So, like I mentioned, #1 ranked, been dominating play throughout the entirety of the season. What has been like a few of the reasons that this team has been so successful this year?
I just think our team is super competitive. I feel like, I'm a senior now, so every year each team's just been as competitive as the last, and I feel like this one, everyone is. I mean, when we play, everyone can beat anyone. So, I think that's really good for us to compete when we're back home, and then when we get on the road, we're not as stressed out because we're trying to just get to the tournament individually, and then once we're there, then we're all playing for each other. So I think that's been really good for us.
So earlier this month, you were named co-Big 12 Golfer of the Month after a stretch where we saw multiple career lows and individual title as well. How can you continue this level of play heading into the Big 12 and NCAA tournament?
Just not getting complacent. Once the tournament or once the day ends or once the tournament ends, I try to start fresh. I don't try to ride any momentum or anything. I've just learned to kind of take it one day at a time. Just don't expect anything, because if you play well and expect something to go well and you don't, then you're going to leave yourself with disappointment. So I just try to start fresh every day, and whatever happened back then, it was great in the time being, but we just got to keep moving forward.
And I have to ask, because we all saw the video, you guys got a chance to work out with the OU football team and Coach Mady. What was that like? Take me through that experience.
Yeah, no, so we work out 3 days a week, and we usually see the football team there. They're working out too, but they have so much energy. I mean, they got 30, 40 guys, and we only have 12 guys on our team. So, you know, when I think we did it Friday, and we were doing like competition day. We got into teams, like 3 teams of 4, and we had to hang on the bar for like as long as you could, and it was like a cumulative time. And then there was like a few guys left, and then all the football team like were going over the weights where we were, and then they just started screaming. It was hectic, but it was awesome to see all of us come together for that. So it was really cool.
No, it definitely looked super fun. And so last one here, just before we wrap up, what is your dream course or dream tournament to play in? I know there's a lot of tough choices, Masters, US Open. What would it be?
It'd probably be the Masters, just because it's a major, first one of the year, always there every year. And I feel like the Green Jacket's probably the most significant looking, you know, award you want to have. So if you get that, then you'll be set.
No, I definitely agree. Masters is my pick as well. But that's all the time we have. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
Back to you in studio.
Now don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Kaleigh and Shannon will be facing off. Thanks for sticking with us. It is time for Faceoff, so let's get right into it. Now, it only makes sense for my first question to be about the basketball tournament that everyone has been tuning in to watch, and we are now down to the Final Four. So, Kaleigh and Shannon, who do you see winning it all in March Madness?
Well, it has been a crazy tournament this year so far, and it's funny how all the Blue Bloods kind of ended up in this Final Four. And this is one team that I didn't expect I'd be rooting for, but I'm going with Duke. I'm hoping for Coach K to have a great final season, a great way to just finish his career. He's had over 100 tournament wins and is entering his 13th Final Four. And Duke has a younger roster, but they have some weapons, including Paulo Banchero. This freshman forward is averaging 17.2 points and 7.8 rebounds per game. This season, Duke is averaging 80.2 points per game, which ranks 8th in the country. And this upcoming game is against their arch rivals, the Carolina Tar Heels, and this is going to be a big game for Duke. And I know they're wanting some revenge after Carolina beat Duke in Cameron Indoor, their last regular season game with Coach K as their head coach. So they said they are ready for some revenge, and I think they can do it.
Ooh, Kaleigh. If you're going to say Duke, you seriously give me no other choice. I have to say North Carolina. Tar Heels, baby, all the way. You said it's Coach K's last season, and that's why it is the first time that these teams have ever met in the dance in their entire histories. Now, you cannot script this. North Carolina started out as an 8th seed. They're playing like a number 1 seed. They polished off 3 top 10 teams, gutted out a physical overtime victory against Baylor, and they outplayed an experienced UCLA team. Now, RJ Davis, Kale Love, and Armando Baycott have been capitalizing on attacking the ball screens, and they're getting down court, which is why they're so good, just like that. You see, now their offensive identities have clearly been defined. Brady Manick and Leaky Black are those big guys in the paint, and they're not going to let anybody get by easily. Now they're allowing only 66 points in the past 11 games. UNC has been at the top of their game, but so is Duke. And that's why I think this is going to be something out of 2K, Kaleigh. I can see it like a video game right now.
It is. This is definitely going to be one of the most watched basketball games, not just this year, but in years past. I mean, all of these teams, the 4 teams that are left, are great teams, and it's no surprise that they're still standing.
Do you think that there's more people rooting for UNC or for Duke? Or would you say it's split? You're from North Carolina, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big split. After they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor, my Twitter was insane with all of the Carolina fans. So honestly, I'm just hoping Duke wins so I could just silence all of those Carolina
I know
fans.
you probably wish that your team ECU, the Pirates, were in.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
What did they play?
Maybe
MIT?
next year. There's
No,
always
they
next
didn't
year.
make it that far.
Hey, next year. Yeah, there's always next year.
Okay, moving on, switching from the court to the football field. The spring game is quickly approaching, and there have been several fresh faces, that have filled those positions for the Sooners. So, Kaleigh and Shannon, I want to know, what are your football expectations heading into the season? And also, what position do you think will make the most impact for the Sooners?
Well, Abby, it's the Venables era. We all know it, and we know that there's a new focus for the Sooner, I almost said Sooner Nation, for the Sooner football team, and that's on the defensive front, on the D line. They are going to have an entirely new look with Venables now. Todd Bates and Miguel Chavez leading that team. They're working to replace Carrion Winfrey, Nick Bonito, and Isaiah Thomas. And I think Bates and Venables and Chavez even, they're bringing a different level of physicality to the line of scrimmage. Now, we keep hearing, I'm sure our crowd keeps hearing too, about this suffocating defense. I want to see it. With the addition of Jeffrey Johnson, he was an anchor for the D-line at Tulane. And I think that Reggie Grimes and Marcus Stripling have had valuable experience in 2021 and are going to be able to kind of carry that over to the 2022 season. But Jalen Redmond is the guy I want to harp on. He is the keys to the ignition for the Sooner football team. He deserves street cred. He is probably the best run defender last season. Now, Schmitty and Bates, they're plugging the holes up front. They're plugging the holes up front with strength versus speed. It's going to be a huge transformation from last year's defense to this one. And we did lose a trio of some really strong guys, but I think there's some guys in the depth chart that are right behind him can fill those holes.
Yeah, definitely no more speed D.
No.
Speed D.
I don't even know what that means anymore.
Well, we've touched on it, but I mean, this football team is going to look completely different with the coaching staff and players. But one position everyone's going to be looking out for is the quarterback position. You know, that was a big issue with OU football last year, and there's some big holes to fill. And Dylan Gabriel is coming to step in, and a lot of players are already singing the praises of Gabriel just after a couple practices. The Sooners are really mixing it up with that defensive mindset like you talked about, Shannon, and I think that could be really good because OU's offense last year just got really stale. And even better with that, we have Jeff Levy coming in, who could be arguably the best offensive coordinator in college football. And Levy and Gabriel aren't strangers. Levy served as UCF's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2018 and 2019. And when the two worked together, they were incredible. And that's when Gabriel was only 18 years old. So now he has so much more experience 3 years later. I think he's going to be a great weapon. And I think he's really passionate about the team, about that kind of mindset that Brent Venables is putting in. It's not just about football. It's more than that.
And I love that Brent Venables continues to stress relationships and how important strong relationships are to have a good team. And you talk about that passion and that drive, and I think Brent Venables speaks for himself, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see you on the field.
That spring game, I'm so excited. There's so many new positions that I'm excited to just watch. So
it's going to be a new team.
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Less than a month.
Yes. Okay, well, Faceoff isn't over just yet. It is viral video time. Let's see him.
Okay, so we know March is all about basketball, but this girl might be giving March Madness a run for its money. Yep, this is a 17-year-old junior who is blind, and you can hear how quiet the gym was. 2,500 fans, and then when she made it, they just erupted with cheer.
And for a blind girl to feel that, even in high school, you said she's in high school?
Yep.
In high school, just imagine how that probably feels, and that's a pretty I got some chills, so.
Such an accomplishment.
I have some goosebumps, possibly, but from 30 years ago to this day, March 28th, 1992, 103-102 Kentucky Duke. We talked about Duke earlier. Maybe Coach K can do it again. I'm kind of prefacing too much. I don't want to ruin it, so take a look here.
Quick timeout so they can get in better shooting range.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up.
Christian Leitner with the turnaround jumper to beat the buzzer. It sends the Devils to the Final Four.
I couldn't believe that happened to me twice in a career, and it was just incredible.
What a shot, and that's something that you can never, ever forget about. That's something phenomenal, and then Duke went on to win the title, back-to-back beating Michigan. So
shows the rich history they have in this tournament.
Coach K is not afraid to win, and to see something like that, Christian Leitner, wow, just stuns. It stuns me.
For sure. Great videos, you guys. But audience, it is time to declare your face-off winner. If you think it was Shannon, let's hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got some cheers. If you think it was Kaleigh, give it up.
Oh, man.
Okay, Kaleigh,
Kaleigh, I'm going to have to give this one to you. Congratulations on your face-off win. But stick around because when we come back, I'll give you all the Sooner sports coming up. Plus, I'm going to give you this week's draft segment. Tomorrow night, softball will be back at Marita Hines after their big weekend to take on Wichita State. First pitch at 6 p.m. And on Thursday, you'll want to be there at the LNC for the Women's Gym Regional Tournament starting at 7 p.m. And men's tennis will match up against Oklahoma State this Friday starting at 6 p.m. Now for this week's draft segment, we can all admit we're big foodies. We talk about food all the time. I mean, come on. So you guys, I want to know, what are your favorite Norman eats? Let's hear it.
So many. Okay, I'm going to have to start it out with probably the best establishment restaurant in Norman, Oklahoma, and that's going to be the Mont.
Oh, Kaleigh, that's a good one. I know you like those swirls. You like those swirls. But my favorite, little Italian place, tall Italian place, Valer. Valer is my favorite, hands down.
Well, another big tradition around OU is $2 Tuesday, and that has to be the Winston.
Oh, the Winston is a good one. The Winston's a good one, but I like burgers better than salads. Give me the garage. Oh, look at that. That's meaty. That's meaty.
Well, my last favorite has to be Louie's on Campus Corner. It's a staple.
So we kind of got all food groups. I got to go Italian again, but Victoria's. It has to be up there, you guys. Some homemade pasta. Homemade pasta. Oh, that chicken parm.
Those are great picks, y'all. And I will say Louie's and Valer for sure. I am hitting up after game day. Are you kidding me?
100%. How could you not? How could you not?
Well, that is all the time we have for, but thank you so much for tuning into Sooner Sports Pad. We'll be back same time, same place next week.